Good morning, I'm Judith and this is my corner, and as you can see I started my painting for my new grandbaby, yay! But before I do anything, I would like to say congratulations to the Olympic hockey team. You guys brought home the gold. Not only that, but you restored the spirit and the patriotism in the USA. Thank you very much, and I am going to go get a beer in your honor this afternoon. So it's day 23,000 since Nancy Guthrie disappeared, but as I was standing there painting, so many things went through my mind, and maybe we should start thinking outside of the box. What if Sheriff Nanos does not want to share his findings or his investigation because he knows exactly what's going on and he doesn't want to share with the FBI because they just don't want to, because it's going to make him look bad, and because the family knows, and if they're implicated in any way, it could be bad for them. So let's think out of the box real quick. I'm not going to keep you long, but Sheriff Nanos has messed up everything. The glove guy at the front door is actually left-handed, and I think that was either a setup to make it look like kidnapping. No breaking and entry, no windows broke, nothing except for the stupidity of this flubub at the front door putting flowers in front of the camera. So that was either a setup, or this guy is a total moron, lost, tried to break in and enter, couldn't, and left. So let's move that aside. And all those people, going to Walmart and, trying to get a backpack and a glove, what difference does it make? What in the hell actual difference does it make? It's all purchased by so many people. They found a backpack in the gutter yesterday. So let's put him aside. The police report that shows up the day before Nancy disappeared, and the sheriff saying that he was at her house on Saturday, just sticks in my mind, and I wish I could just put my finger on why that bugs me so much, because it's a cover-up. All right, so Nanos is an ass. The glove guy is a setup or a mistake. Savannah quotes the Silence of the Lambs. Very interesting. Very, very interesting that she should quote, a person who, I don't know, who's in jail and it was a criminal. And so she's going to quote something that happened in that movie. That's another strange, idiotic, stupid thing. But I guess you have to, come to senses come to, some kind of agreement with the kidnappers, make them feel all warm and fuzzy. Okay, whatever. However, Savannah has not offered a ransom or, a reward. To this day, nothing. And you know what? That is another suspicious. They exactly know what happened to Nancy, and that's why they're not offering that reward. Okay, let's move on. The sister, Annie. Annie about had a heart attack. She about collapsed in that video where they're talking to the kidnapper. She could barely contain herself. She was about to flat out burst out crying or yelling, "I know what happened!" She was so uncomfortable that she really points to they all know what's happening. They moved the children out of the house. They're all huddled together. They're trying to come up with what to do. So if they are being blackmailed for some reason, I don't know, maybe the brother-in-law or the band members or the husband or what Nancy knew, if they are being blackmailed, then they wouldn't offer a ransom because they already know who they're being blackmailed by. And so why give up the money? They just are trying to figure out what to do. The Protective Service card on Nancy's front door makes me wonder if they didn't just take her and left that as a clue. Maybe, maybe not. So anyway, the city decided to make her street a one-way. All those reporters there, most of them are ambulance chasers. They run around after the fact, instead of actually digging into what's happening. I have been saying, somebody down there, go down and get the police report from January 31st, because a missing person report, I believe, is open to the public, so you can get a copy of it. But nobody wants to do that because they're too busy, hanging out and chasing ambulances. There are one or two that are actually really good, and I'm glad that they're there and I follow them, but most of them are totally useless. Nancy's house is still not roped off. There are people driving up in her driveway. There are pool people and, all kinds of people coming and going. Why the hell, if it's a crime scene, isn't it still roped off? I've been to a crime scene in my own house, and it was roped off for quite a while. I don't understand, but okay. So this is my story for today. Nothing is happening. Nobody is saying anything. The family's not coming out. TMZ's got a million letters that are probably all fake. And we are at a standstill again to this day. Anybody got any ideas on where we should go? I have a feeling that they really want us to just sweep it under the rug and go away and not bring it up anymore. And if they were really seriously concerned about Nancy, they would turn this over to the FBI, who has all the resources to find her. They're out walking around canvassing people, just volunteers out there canvassing the neighborhood, walking up and down the mountain, in ditches and whatever, looking for Nancy with sticks. The lady from wherever she is, from Mexico, she's walking around with a stick, sticking it in the ground. Like, what is she, searching for water? What? It's all just a freaking mess. And when they get their head together and they turn it over to the FBI, I think that's when we're going to start getting some answers. But in the meantime, you know what? Let the fuck ups continue. See you later.